All right, what's going on, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. I know I'm late. I just wanted to talk on the Pascal and Kovalev fight, which was one of the worst fights I've seen between like two top 5 fighters in the division. You know, Pascal's performance was pathetic. You know, it was very disappointing. Okay, I thought there were a lot of 10-8 rounds in that fight, including the first round. I didn't think that knockdown was a slip. I thought Kovalev landed a stiff jab, timed it perfectly. Pascal wasn't hurt, but he was unbalanced, and he fell. I thought Kovalev should have got the knockdown for that fight. I mean, for that punch. I thought 2 and 3, 2 and 3 was like, Kovalev was winning, but, Pascal was doing something. And I think after like maybe the 4th or 5th round, it was just all Kovalev, where Pascal wasn't even throwing any punches. Okay, Pascal didn't throw anything. You got rounds where Kovalev is landing 30-something shots and Pascal 1. Pascal 2 shots landed in a round. That's a 10-8 round. Without the knockdown. Like, Pascal was pathetic that night. And for him to, first of all, they fill up these arenas out in Canada. This is why they always, this is why these Europeans are always going up there to fight, because they fill out the arenas up there, up in there in Canada. So it's cool. These people are buying tickets. I'd be mad as hell if I bought a ticket for that fight. But it is what it is. I didn't make a video prediction for it because even though I loved the first fight, I knew that all Kovalev needed to do was box him better and he would win the fight. Pascal got stamina issues. His condition is terrible. Always been. The only reason why the first fight was competitive or somewhat competitive is because Kovalev went to war with him and kept getting hit with counters. And Pascal loads up on every shot that he throws. So Kovalev fought his fight. That's the only reason why Pascal got a few rounds won in that fight. It was good. And Pascal's tough. So Kovalev got power. If it was anybody else, Kovalev would have got him out of there earlier. With the way that Pascal was fighting, he would have got him out of there earlier. But Pascal is a tough dude, man. And I give him credit for being tough. The guy can take a punch. But he had no chance of winning this fight. And you got to start switching trainers. All right, just picking up Freddie Roach is getting played out at this point. Everybody's doing it. Picking him up, having 5 weeks of camp. It's not going to get you a win, bro. Not against Sergey Kovalev. All right, it was. And then the whole thing leading up to the fight with the press conference and John David Jackson and the bananas. It's like, look, I don't know. Kovalev probably is a racist. Dude is probably racist. He probably is racist. Me, I don't care. It doesn't affect me. I don't care how you feel about whatever outside of the ring. If you're a good fighter, you're a good fighter. I don't really care what Kovalev is. I don't give a damn. I don't. But my thing is this. You gotta take it to. You gotta promote the fight by going into the racism thing. Cool. Have no problem with that because you're trying to sell the fight. You're trying to get people hyped because a lot of people not really. I know people went and paid to go see the fight, but the boxing world is not really hyped about this fight. Nobody's really talking about it like that because we already saw the first fight. So my thing is, I don't have a problem with him trying to sell the fight by throwing the bananas around and everything. But at least do something. His delivery was off. Like, at least do something that's funny. I felt embarrassed watching. I was embarrassed for him. Watching him throw the bananas around. And it's like, damn, dude. It wasn't even funny. If it was funny, then yeah. But he should have did something that would have been funny. Get the people going. Get the people laughing. The whole banana thing was kind of corny. Like, he should have did something better than that. If you're gonna do that, if you're gonna if you're gonna do something, just do something good. Make it well thought out. Make it clever for people can laugh. It was corny, at least in my opinion. All right. Now let's move on. I don't want to talk about that too much. Adonis Stevenson jumps in the ring. I don't know what's corny between Pascal and his antics with the bananas or Stevenson jumping in the ring acting like he wants to fight Kovalev. You don't want to fight Kovalev, bro. You don't want to fight that guy. Stop acting like you didn't want to fight him then. You in there acting like you want to fight. You smiling at the same time. It's a joke. It was a joke. He wasn't, a whole team is holding him back. Or fake holding him back. Like when people want to fight, people act like they want to fight because they're with their friends and their friends is holding them back. But if they were to let him go, he would have probably just stood there and did nothing. It was corny. It looked like wrestling. It looked like WCW Nitro in there. Like, it was corny. The whole thing was corny. From the press conference all the way up to the post-fight interview was a joke. All right? That fight did absolutely nothing for me. Anyway, let's move on. Andre Ward. This is how I feel. As far as Sullivan Barrera, I'm going to make a separate video for that. This is how I feel. Andre Ward, right? Andre Ward has not really been that active. Okay, he fought Paul Smith. I can't really count that fight because Paul Smith wasn't really in there to win the fight. Paul Smith came off a couple of losses against Arthur Abraham. He was overweight for the fight. He just didn't have a chance of winning this fight. Okay, he really posed no threat to Andre Ward. And Andre Ward has not been active, okay? He had the surgery. He came back for Edwin Rodriguez. A fight that I thought was a tough fight for him, because Edwin is a damn cruiserweight, in my opinion. The dude is a big dude. He's a extremely big light heavyweight, okay? And Andre Ward at the time was still a super middleweight, okay? That was a tough fight, okay? Paul Smith, there was no danger in that fight. Andre Ward was dominant. He was the only one that was throwing punches in the fight. It was just an easy fight for him. He didn't have to be sharp. He didn't have to be 100% to win that fight. How I feel about him fighting Kovalev? Well, I think Andre Ward would have to be the best that he can be to beat Sergey Kovalev. I think he can beat Sergey Kovalev, okay? I do think he's the better fighter. I think that he's going to do things that's going to frustrate Sergey Kovalev, okay? I think he can win that fight. In fact, depending on his next couple of fights before fighting Kovalev, if I'm basing off Andre Ward, the Ward that I know, the Ward that I've seen him, the Ward that fought Sakio Bika and all these other guys from the Super 6 tournament, I'm going for Andre Ward to win the fight. But he has to be on his A game. I don't know if he's on his A game. I don't know if he's still in his prime. I don't know if he's still as sharp because he hasn't been active. Sergey Kovalev has been active. He's been fighting 2, 3, 4 times a year. Okay? Sergey Kovalev has been probably in like 10 fights within the same amount of time that Andre Ward been in 2. I don't know. I didn't check that, but I'm just saying Andre Ward is not active. So I need to see the Sullivan Barrera fight, which is a very good fight. At least he's fighting someone that could actually possibly beat him. All right, I'm going to do a separate video on that fight. I don't want to get too much into that fight now because I want to talk about that fight later. But Sergey Kovalev is dangerous regardless. When you're a good solid boxer, and I think the Sergey Kovalev that fought Bernard Hopkins, not the one that fought Pascal, the Kovalev that fought Bernard Hopkins has a very good chance of beating Andre Ward. I'm still going with Andre Ward because I think that Andre Ward on his best day will beat Sergey Kovalev. That's just my opinion. But I don't know where Andre Ward is right now. I don't know if he's still as sharp. I think he is because I know He's dedicated to his fitness and everything, but he's not fighting. So I would have to see how he is in the Sullivan Barrera fight, and I would like to see that, you know. But I see a lot of people and their opinions. People think Kovalev's gonna win. They feel like Kovalev's just gonna knock him out. And the people that think Ward is gonna win, they think Ward is just too skilled to lose to a guy like Kovalev. Like I see people's opinions, and I feel like, yo, this is like a really dangerous fight for each guy here, you know. Andre Ward could actually outclass and outpoint Sergey Kovalev. Kovalev could very much knock Andre Ward out. You know, so Kovalev is the best fighter that Andre Ward has faced, in my opinion. Kovalev is better than Carl Froch, in my opinion. Kessler, you know, all those guys that Andre Ward faced, Kovalev is better than all of them. So I think people need to realize that these guys are, both of them are the best fighters each fighter has ever faced. You know? And Sullivan Barrera is going to be a good test. He's going to be a good test for Andre Ward. Andre Ward hasn't fought a guy like Sullivan Barrera in a while. You can argue that Sullivan Barrera is a better matchup for Ward coming up to 175 than Paul Smith, than Edwin Rodriguez, okay, who was pretty much a damn cruiserweight when they fought. Chad Dawson, because Chad Dawson might have been drained for that fight, okay? So this is a real fight for Andre Ward. So I need to see this fight, and I got to see where Ward is at. Ward should win that fight. He should win the fight. All right? But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to do another video with Sullivan Barrera, talking about Sullivan Barrera and Andre Ward. I'll do another video on that. But that's how I feel. I still have Ward, but I'm basing it off Ward of the Ward that we know from the past. You know? I don't know where Ward is right now. All right? But I do know where Kovalev is. Okay? And he's a very dangerous opponent for Andre Ward. If Andre Ward is not on his A game, he will lose that fight. All right? All right, I'm out.